Hello and welcome, this is Father Jack, and tonight we're going to do the final run of the fast sale. When I did this the other night, my mic wasn't working properly, I'd made a couple of mistakes, etc, etc. So I thought, right, let's redo it, and hopefully this will be the last time. We must all be getting bored of this by now. Come on, hurry up and load. Thank you. So, to get to this point, I left the last island, first cluster. It took 15 minutes to get out of that cluster. Then I've used the fast time for another 10 minutes just to make sure that what's that there? Just to make sure that everything's all hunky-dory. Just shove this bread in here. So I don't need it. It's knacky new friggin' chest, so I don't need that. Oh. As you say, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. What I want to do is sail to 12. Get that done. Right there. Let's sail to 12. Just keep out there a sec. Make sure I'm still going in a northerly direction, which we are-ish. So let's get the sails up. Sit me bum down. Do the fast time. See, that fast time's not appearing on the screen again. But I'm not worried about that. So I'm going to sail to it. Stop that a sec. Can't I put that in your hand? How did I do this last time? I put that in my hand first. Would I do anything? That kind of sucks. So right, well, just have to guess. I wish you could have like something you could put a nail in there or whatever, put a bit of string on, have your watch and your compass on there, just to make sure you're going in the right way, in the right times and all that sort of malarkey. So I hope my voice, I know my voice is a bit croaky, my mic's turned on, I hope, yep. It was partly my fault, but a lot was bloody Microsoft. They did release an update. Obviously, Machine applies the update. And then my downfall, I forgot to check the settings after the update. Nightmare. Oh, so I can't do that. Right. Oh. So I'm just going to wait until that gets to 12. Stop everything. Then use the sextant to, I hope that's 9 o'clock at night. Where's the sun? Use the sextant to put a marker on the world map, and hopefully that will reveal where the second cluster is. With a bit of luck, fingers crossing, all as well, I hope. So I hope everyone's had a good Valentine's Day. I don't believe in it because it's just a money scam. See, I thought that, I know it's in fast time, but you'd think the time would move a lot faster than that, wouldn't you? But hey ho, that's right, it's going in bloody normal speed, doesn't it? Hello, Wild Ripper, how are you? Yeah, what I did the other day, my mic wasn't working properly due thanks to Microsoft doing an update. I made a couple of mistakes with that run, so I thought, right, let's just redo it one final time and watch this time not bloody work. But um, I made a couple of errors, so uh, we'll see how it goes this time. So let's wait till we get to 12 o'clock and use the Sextant to. I'll show you one of the errors I was making when I was using the Sextant. I hope the bloody clouds go away. Clock would go a bit faster. Oh yeah, it's definitely a challenge. When I first started moving between clusters, I would just use fast type to do all of it and the seagulls to guide me. But it was just taking hours and hours and hours. And I thought there must be a faster way of doing this. And then they brought out fast sale. And then I was asking loads of questions and people say, oh, you do it this way, you do it that way. And I thought, for God's sake, why haven't the devs produced a document to do this? So we'll see how it goes, because my plan is obviously I'm going to sail north to find this next cluster, second cluster, and then from there I'll bum around them islands for a while, build up enough resources. I seen on the ATP did you get too hot in that? No, that's why I put this on my raft so I stay in the shade so I don't get too hot. I learned that lesson. It's yeah, it's, sometimes the timings of this game sometimes are slightly out, I think. Like when you do the fast sail part, it just eats up your hunger and your thirst. Temperature 107. You didn't cook. Wow, you'd be really lucky at that one. Wow, 107. So that must be about 38C, 40C, over 40C. Christ, I was surprised you didn't cook like a chicken. It's no, but it's very aggressive, the fast sail. Because you have to keep an eye out in the bottom, obviously the bottom, you know what I'm talking about, the bottom left of the screen, your hunger and your thirst and all that sort of stuff. I think they need to be toned down a wee bit. Just a little bit. So my plan is go north, find this next cluster, then sail west to another one, then sail south, sorry, to find the third one, and then sail west to go back to my original one. Whether I can achieve that or I don't know. So I don't know what the record is for people like the longest streak of people finding clusters one after the other. Plus, I seen on Escape's Discord, that should be a bit faster for me, but anyway. Someone's built a catamaran type raft, which is basically the same as this, except down this. Hi Digger, how are you? Down this side of the raft he's built, just got sails on it. I think he's got 5 sails, and on the other side, the person's got his chests and such stuff. So once I get this next cluster, that's what I might build. So I'm just waiting to get to 12 o'clock so I can use the sextant. So I wish that fast time would go a bit faster. But one thing that isn't shown, the fast time in red letters, top right, which it's not a worry, but be nice to have there. I've done a few bug reports on that, but you just get to the point where you think, well, I've put that bug report in 4 times already, but you get sick of it. So an hour and a half to go before we hit. That's game time, it's not real time. So, oh, I forgot. Where's me? So we've been sailing 15 minutes now. So I've got 25 minutes to where I started the stream. Been sailing for 15 now, so that's 40 minutes it's taken so far. So when I used to do it with just fast time only, it would take in real time about 4 hours. With the fast time, I think I'm getting it down to an hour and a half. So oh, that's what yourself who built the cap around. All right, I didn't realise it was you. Yeah. So I might, when I get the next cluster, I might take all this bit out, put the 5 sails down. Does it make it go faster? Just pulled off 4 separate rafts, connected. Sailors 1. All right. I'll have to I'll have to have a look at that when if you upload it. I'll have a look and I'll try and copy it. Right. So you had 7. Was that 7 sails you had in total? So 4, well, 5 down one side and 2 on the other. So I've got 5, like the rough segments. I've got 5 going down each side. I'll have a look when you upload it. I'll have a look, and I'll modify this raft to. Because I was talking to somebody. What was the guy? I can't remember the guy's name. You'll have to build and then move that in between. I don't understand that. You have to build and then remove the hammer in between or any connections to make it connected, but not actually connected. That doesn't make sense to me, but upload it. I'll have a look, see how we did it, and then I was talking. I can't remember what I was talking to on the Pacific Discord. And the guy was saying for like this type of raft I've built. He says you can have like 6, 7, 8, 9 sails on it, but it doesn't make it go any faster. And I thought, well, the more sails you have, surely that makes the raft go faster. Surely. It's got to be. But the guy was going, oh, no, it doesn't work like that. I thought I was sure about this. If you build a 5x5, move 2 rows. You have a trimmer on. Nice. Oh, come on. Shall I just do a fast sale? But I want to do the Sextant thing. It's got another 2 hours before bloody midday. Do I really need to use the Sextant thing or not? Let's take basically just about 15 minutes in real time. We're nearly an hour game time. Yeah, that was the mistake I was making. I marked it and I was hoping for a notification on the left hand side to say it's been marked. Just I was zoomed in, I learnt that lesson. Should zoom up as you go to the next cluster in OpenOcean. I think I should just bypass the Sextant because people can watch that other one, can't they? Yeah, it's one of my bugbears. I love this game to bits, don't get me wrong. I had it to be Game of the Year last year. I absolutely adore this game. It's got so much potential. But I've got 2 complaints about ATP. Firstly, I know it's still underdeveloped and all that sort of stuff, but the documentation they produced, like on the wiki, it's not to a standard I would expect. I wish it was a lot more clearer. I think all the devs and the people supporting the devs should have that documentation and read it and know it by heart. So when they're answering people's questions in the Discord, they should refer them, should have links to say, if you look on there, on this wiki page, it explains everything that you need to know. But that wiki documentation is not right yet, I don't think. That's one of my bugbears with this. It's not just this game, there's a lot of other games are like that. But sadly, because this is a small team, and they don't have the resources and stuff to polish it off. The other bugbear with this game, yes, there is still quite a few bugs within the game. Without a question, without everybody will admit that, even the devs will admit that. So it annoys me or winds me up when they're on the Discord asking people what they want. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be saying that. You should be saying, look, we're working on the bugs. You've been so brilliant to work. We've reported all the bugs. We're going to bloody flatten them out. Then we'll start incorporating some of your wants or wishes. Not all of them will be made. They need to stop trying to pander to people. They need to pretty get a set of balls and say, no, this is how it's going to be. Maybe in a year's time when the game's more stable and most of the bugs have been ironed out, then yes, go back to the audience and say, right, I'm going to implement these. If people start whinging, tough. It's Um, can you imagine GTA or another Red Redemption, for example, or GTA? Can you imagine if they on their Discords or whatever? Yes, I know, yes, there's bugs with them games as well. But can you imagine if they ask in their Discord about ideas now? That shows to me if they're asking for people for ideas. It's shown lack of what's the word I'm looking for? Creativity within that dev team. Yes, the game needs a direction and needs to sort out one the pirate ship. The people that have leave food at the altars. I remember when I first started playing this, and I went to an island because I didn't really know the game when it first came out. I bought it. I watched another streamer play it. I thought, oh, that looks a really good game. So I went to an island. And there was some water or some food, and I'm going, why is this being left here? Who's left this here? Why is it being left here? I had all them sort of questions. And the very stupidest thing, or dumbass question I asked was, obviously I was on the Start Island, so I built a little canoe raft, followed the arrow to the next island. And when I got to that island, I was walking around and I went, well, there's a campfire. Who's been here before? And I was hunting around that island to see if there was anybody still alive. I thought, crap, there's somebody on this island, I'm going to die. Oh, I was really panicking. Yes, I've never understood these shells. What service do they play in the game? Yes, they're there for decoration, I presume. But I've never understood the use of them. Yes, I presume the pirate ship will come down further in the pipeline. Yes, I know it's there. I've tried to swim up to one, but obviously there's a box clutching around it. I got deadlocked ×2 and died from the lack of vitamin C. No banana pineapple. I can't see that word properly. Had to start over. That's a question I asked you the other day. When you've got banana trees or papaya trees, I asked the question. One thing I've noticed, see with Island C, there was a bunch of banana trees on there. And we're all, I don't know, yellow, green bananas too. That's like a get that point in a second, why people. So say you go to an island, it's full of banana trees, and yellow banana 2 or 3 or whatever. My question was, do you have to stay on that island for them bananas to grow, or can you go to a different island, spend 2 hours or a day on that island, go back to the first island, and them bananas be fully ripe? And I can't remember who answered it, but the answer didn't really convince us. It seems the shark thing, I think that'll come down the pipeline, so if you do fall in the water, you're going to get killed by a shark. Simple as that. But at least I had a few new items, new cluster motivation. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Maybe they need to have a rethink about the whole structure. So on your first cluster, have enough food and water to harvest and enough resources to build a raft, which is capable of getting you to the next cluster. Within the next cluster, I don't know, the axe or the hammer or the knife or whatever. See, that's what I did, right? You say this is sometimes when you sleep, you wake up, those cycle seasons. And I had a drop or ripen on the tree, banana as well. That's what I thought. So I went to the silage, they had a couple of banana trees on, there were banana threes and the papayas at trees. I thought, oh, if I sleep for like a day or 2 days, they'll ripen and drop. 4 days later, they still hadn't changed. There was still banana 3 or a papaya 3. I thought, come on guys, how long? But then again, I have my settings to have thingy one day, like every day thing. So so I'm a great believer in if you get stranded on an island in the Pacific, I don't believe you should have a choice to pick which island, because what a lot of people do, I think, they cycle through. When you start a new game, you can cycle through which island you want to start at. And to me, I think that's personally wrong, because you're stranded, being dumped, you're shipwrecked in the middle of the Pacific, God knows where it is. So excuse me, I personally don't think you should have the right to select which island to start on, because people will just pick the one that's got the most palm trees on or the most trees on it, to build a decent raft and all that sort of stuff. You could be right, I might have gone away from there and come back. Big run. I've tried that as well, but it might be just being a dumbass. 15 minutes. Damage doesn't happen to your shutter unless you leave and return. To be honest, I'm not one of these who likes to build shelters on or sips of water. I'm an island hopper. See, why has that not come up? What am I doing wrong? See, why is that not coming up? I put everything on my rack, even grew a carrot. That's true. Yeah, I can't. Why is this not letting me? Not because I've got that in my hand. Oh, that's a pain in the ass. Now fast time comes up. Hour 15 minutes. Yeah, it's like you're on a ship and it's crashing or sinking, and you got the captain and say, "Excuse me, Mr. Captain, can you put me on that island over there because it's got lots of trees on it?" You don't get a frigging choice, for God's sake. It's like if your plane's crashing at the Pacific, you cut the captain. "Put it over there on that bit of island. It's got lots of trees on it." You don't get a frigging choice. I'm sorry, but that's me winch. Yeah, it's. I feel corporate off to say how would float. What, when you were sailing? Because I know the unstripped one, the unstripped ones, they still float. But I know the stripped coconuts, they don't apparently. I think it was you who said that actually. Since I was a bit bored of it. I've only drowned once. No, twice. One was because the game crashed. The two, I got the board, I just threw myself over the side. With my backpack on and stuff. It's, yeah. That's it. Which one stayed afloat as longest then? I bet it was the unstripped one, the raw one. $35, wow. But when they're next to the island, they seem to bob up and down on the island a lot longer than 3 to 5 seconds. So alright. Hour and 5 minutes. The other thing that really winds me up about this game as well. Apparently somebody's created a mod for the game. And one of them's a God mode mod. Why people... To me that's cheating in any game. The only time you use God mode is if you're a developer, blah blah blah. And for them to allow someone on the Discord to create this, I just think so wrong, because everybody's going to use this mod. They're going to have whatever resources they want to be able to build whatever raft they want, instead of playing the game how it should be. It's probably something to do with quarter floating. If it's could be to do with like the pressure of water and such stuff, and the waves are more pronounced in the open ocean, whereas if it's floating next to the island, obviously you just get a little ripple. With the open ocean, the waves are a lot more aggressive, so it probably sinks it quicker. I don't know. That's my opinion, but it's just a guess. It's, yeah, it really wound me up. Because I even DM'd Radu, and I said, you shouldn't be doing this. This is wrong. And he's going, oh, well, we'll have to cater for everybody. I'm going, no, you fucking don't. Tell them to freaking sod off. They're going to talk about that kind of stuff. Go on a different Discord or do it in private. To figure out how to direct access. I think that's cheating. To me, that is cheating. That's why I went off it with Radu. And if he's watching this, I'm sorry, Radu, but it's cheating. And then people shouldn't be allowed in your Discord as far as I'm concerned. They need to be booted. Because what will happen is people start using this God mode, and when something goes wrong, they'll blame the game. But if you hadn't been using the God mode and the game and it went wrong, yes, it could be the game. But if you're using that God mode, I don't play games just to start out cheating. Exactly. You hit the nail right in the head. But anyway, that's enough of that. Why can't people play games the way they were intended to? 55 minutes. Then we'll mark it and I'll zoom out. I'd love to know when they're going to introduce a telescope as well. I really would. See, I don't even play the beta branch in this game. I always play the alpha branch. I hope I get to see the sunshine. So, been sailing for 35 minutes roughly. You know what, Ryan? I've been whinging and bitching about this for months. Devs, they'll make some changes to the game, whether they use God mode, they'll play it in God mode and go, oh yeah, that works fine. They then release it as a patch and it doesn't freaking work because they're not actually doing the gameplay. So what they should do, they should make the changes, have a separate machine with a vanilla copy of the game on, put that patch in, and then test it. And if it works, fine, get rid of it. Somebody else to test it, get it, make sure it works. Get a lot of people to test it. If it all works, then go back to your dev machine and redo something else. Because the way games are developed, it's I've worked in the IT business for over 30 years. And I ended up being an implementation project manager, which basically a long job title, but my job role was a company would come to me and say, we want to deploy 4,000 desktops, laptops throughout the workforce. Can you do it? And I said, well, yes, I can, but these are my rules. This is how it should be done. If you don't meet any of these steps, I won't even think about getting involved. And I went to one company, went in, the IT big boss was there with two of these bloody little workers. There was a whiteboard and it had 4 steps. I think it was 3 or 4 steps I had wrote down. So the IT geezer was going through how he wanted it done. We've got these 4 steps on how the process works. And I just looked, I said, all right, I says, why do us a favour? You 3, get out the room, go get me a coffee. He says, why? I says, just go and do it. So while we were out getting a coffee, I ripped their sheet off the whiteboard and wrote down 27 steps that came in with the coffee. And I says, right, this is how the freaking process works. I've been doing this way for the last 10 years. I've fine-tuned it to a certain art. It isn't broken. And I took them through every step. And I did the meeting. And as I was leaving, I turned around and says, you give me a ring. I want this much an hour. I want all them steps done. If you could prove to me you can do all them steps, then I'll come back to your contract. It took them 6 months. Then they rang us. And, oh, missing a hell of a lot. And even when they rang us, they agreed to me how much money I was going to make an hour. So I went in, I says, right, you've got a week to convince me, otherwise I'm out. And even the steps I wrote down for them, they were missing, still missed something. They were still missed. I had like 27 steps. I think they took about 14 of them out. So I just packed up my little folder, started walking to the door to where you going? I says, why have you missed 14 frigging steps? That wasn't the agreement. An hour later, the boss rang us. He says, right, we'll do it your way. I says, well, that's going to cost you X amount of pounds extra an hour. And he agreed to it. So anyway, so part of that stuff I used to do was involved in testing. And I worked for this one company. I rolled out 10,500 PCs for them. But their own in-house IT guys were testing it on an internal network, which wasn't a live network. So they would test it. Yes, it works. Let's roll this bit out. So after 2 or 3 times this happened, I was getting loads of phone calls saying, why is this broke? Why have you done that? Why have you done this? So I literally, the project was worth a couple of million. Not to me, but by the time we hired certain recruitments or certain consultants and stuff, it came about 2.5-3 million. I put a block on it. I says, right, got a front IT director, did a presentation to him and said, stop this now or I'll walk. And he stopped it there and then. Testing is crucial, especially within games, because as you said, if they're just testing it in God mode, it's going to freaking work every time. It really is. Times it's half an hour to go. So I know Radu was going to create a beta tester group. I don't think I'll be invited onto it. God help if I do. But anyway, there's been whinge, so we've got 20 minutes, then we'll get that old Sextant out, and I hope the sun shines still. Lunas, how are you, sir? Thank you for popping by. Is Stu still streaming, or is he finished now? Because that game that was played, I wish it was bloody Freddy Krueger. It would have been interesting. Would have been really interesting. Apparently you've got a 10 minutes window outside of noon to use the Sextant. So once we do that, I'll go and eat everything. I go and eat something, make sure my levels are up. And then we'll try the fast sale one last time. Wonder if Glenn Brixie's alright. Because he wasn't around yesterday. And he's not around today. Because I know there's been a cyclone hit New Zealand. So I hope the young man's alright. Come on, 12 minutes. So we've been sailing for 45 minutes. And what time was that? Was that 9 o'clock? Right. Yeah, I'm all good. How are you? I'm streaming this again. When I did this stream, the same thing the other night. I can't remember what night it was now. Saturday, was it? Sunday? My microphone wasn't working properly because Microsoft did an update. And when they do an update, it screws up all your OBS settings, your game settings, and it was your own stupid fault. I forgot to check them. So plus I made a few mistakes on that stream, so I'm going to try and rectify them tonight. Hit the next cluster. Come on, get a 10 so I can put this bloody thing away. Wish I'd knock these walls down now, thinking about it. 6 minutes to go. Then we'll get the old Sextant out. And then hopefully mark the next cluster. And then use the fast sail towards it. And hopefully find an island. That's a going plan. So yes, meanwhile, I've just been having a good, well, I've had a good rant about the game. You missed all that, Ludus. 3 or 4 minutes and then we'll stop the fast time. I would still like this fast time to go a bit quicker. And what I also love to see is the ability to tie like a bucket or a cooking pot. Right. So get rid of that. Come out of that, come out of that. Put that in there. Go back to here. Drop the sails down. Oop, wrong button, you numbers. Got that. Right. That's a friggin' sun. Typical. Oh, there it is. Don't fall off the raft. Don't fall off the raft. There's the sun there. So get the map out. Q for Sextant. Reset the mirrors. Where's the sun? Oh, I can't see the... Is that the sun there? Or is it cloud? Back to the freaking sunshine. Let me reset these mirrors. Typical bloody sun goes behind a freaking cloud. It's fucking typical. Oh, come on, cloud. Map. Sextant. It's the sun there. Drag it down, drag it down, drag it down. Why would it go any further? So I'm presuming that's the next, I don't know what them other squiggly lines are, but that's the next cluster marked. Go back to the compass. I don't know what them other squiggly lines are, but they're not so bad. So I'm at the next cluster. Let's have a couple of sips of water. Don't need any salt. Vitamin C stuff. Oh, I've got enough, I should have. Right. Seals back up. Right. Come up with that. Cue for the fast sail. Let's do the sunset. Now, when I first started doing this fast sail, I don't think the raft was going backwards. And I was getting myself all confused with the seagulls and all that sort of stuff. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Keeping an eye on the bottom left hand corner, make sure I'm not going to become thirsty or... There we go, he's thirsty. That was well timed, wasn't it? How thirsty are you? One of these. See? Is it worth eating? Yeah, we'll eat a salty thing. Eat that. So everything is all hunky-dory. Let's do a fast sail again till sunrise, and then hopefully that should take us a lot closer to the cluster. You're tired, thirsty. I'll wait till it gets very thirsty. Just thirst that. Let's go and drink some more. Right. Go till sunrise. Yes, I know you're tired. Yes, I know you're going to be hungry. But there's the sunrise coming. There we go. Sails up. How hungry are you? Why this? Them seagulls are coming behind us, which I'm not convinced. Why can't I mark? See, according to the wiki page and stuff, the seagulls are flying away from you at sunrise. That means I've just left the cluster. So does that mean I've gone past that cluster? It's marked there. Still seeing the northerly direction. This is the problem I had the last time, wasn't it? Backside down. I knew this was going to turn into a shit show. See, they should be flying towards me. I'm still in open water. What was that popped up on the left hand side? See, they should be flying towards me. How tired are you? Right, that seems all rested. See, I'm nowhere near the friggin' second cluster. Let's go back to fast time, because I don't want to do another fast sail in case I fly past it. That's it. So we've basically got 20 odd minutes to find the next island, the next cluster, and then 15 minutes to get to an island. Also, when they're doing a fast time, I would love it. You could bring Sextant to get the map up. So you press tab to get the stats up, but that's just a wish list thing, I think. Ooh. Come on. Tonight. So I've been streaming for an hour, just about, and we are within striking distance of the second cluster, or should be. Can't see anything on the horizon yet, though. I think it's not that one. This one. Oh, it needs charging, does it? But I don't have a freaking cable to charge it. Would you have an need that? This one do? Nope. What is it? It's what you think. Well, he's longer for it. Let's try to plug something in, folks. That one. Fits in there. Band crash wall. That's a machine. Oh! There. Yes. Charging. Oh, yes, it's charging. Well, show me timbers. Right. Stop that. Still bloody. Still an open water. Fast time again. I think the marks in the map are from when I did the Sextant thing. I think it copies, or because I was standing next to the railings, I think it leaves them marks on the map, I guess. I'll be right back, chaps. I'm back. Pretty neighbour knows I stream most nights. And somebody comes to the door and, do you want to go for a drink? Like he's lonely and old. What a sod. Right, where are we up to? Come out of that. I think I should risk another fast sale. What's my stats? Let's do another quick fast sale. Do it until sunset. I was bloody thirsty. Let's eat. Fishy. Takes about 100. Let's eat a vitamin C jobby. Takes that back to 100. And I'll have a few slurps of water. So they're all done, dusted. Hopefully. On the world map. Where's the seagulls coming from? Where's these seagulls at? So they should be flying this way. It's a bit that confuses me with bloody fast sail and they're flying back to the cluster. What's my stats? Right. Q. Sunrise. Make the right balls up with this, isn't it, folks? Could be a rage quit coming. I think I've gone past the cluster. I hope not. I'm thirsty, are you? We are thirsty. You're not thirsty anymore. Let's get some food in you. No food, right. Another fast sail till sunrise. So there's the moon dropping. So sunrise is on its way. we go. And I'm still bloody... There's seagulls flying towards us. One seagulls, where are you? Right, so we need to go in that direction. Come on, turn. This isn't really turning, is it? So the cluster must be over that way somewhere. This thing actually freaking turning. I've never, the only way I've ever sailed is with the starter. Did you know if you kick the sail into intermediate, the wind does change direction, speed you up. It's I've always used starter. I'm too scared to use intermediate or beginner because I'm not a sailor. Must track the friggin' seagulls now. Where's these freaking seagulls? I can hear them, I can't freaking see them. There they are. Spinny round, spinny round, spinny round. So the second cluster must be in that direction. It's got to be. Well, we're heading in that direction. So, but thank you for the tips anyway, Ryan. I appreciate it. I just know the cluster's in that direction somewhere. So, it's taken us an hour and 15 minutes. I'll just change it to top view. Didn't know you could do that. Plus the 25 minutes I've spent already. That's an hour and 40 minutes so far. Compared to like 4 hours just using fast time all the way. Yeah, we're still in the right direction roughly. So we should hit an island within 15 minutes or so. I'd guess. It's just the way I do it. I know you've probably got a different way of doing it and it's probably more efficient and a probably a lot better way than what I do it, but this works for me. It's what I've grown used to, I think. Start scanning with your map. Well, see, it won't let me because it still thinks I'm in ocean. It won't let me scan because it's not. I'm not on within the realms of setting cluster. That's what I found anyway. I could be wrong on that though. But I notice how the camera position's like a funny angle now. I've reported that bug a few times. It still hasn't fixed it. One thing I did learn twice. When you're in open water, open ocean, open world, whatever, and you've got the map up, don't edit the map, otherwise that'll sink you as well. Even that Peter, the head dev guy or the owner or whatever, he went, I didn't know it did that. I says, yeah, well, it does. So yeah, don't edit the map. I'm not going to do it here because I'll just think, unless I've fixed it, but I haven't tried it since I've fixed it. What I might do is do it when it's close to shore, so at least I'll be able to recover the raft. Well, I'm not going to try it now. No, I've learnt that lesson twice, so I'm going to do it a third time. I wish you could have the telescope though, so you could scan. Ryzen. If you have your backpack on, you go right down. Or if you go to the water, oh yeah, no, done it a few times, just for fun. Got real black though. I wish I watched, I can't remember the guy's name, was it Fatfly, whoever did that stream on Discord about building a second deck on your raft and put the wood pile and fence around it just to hold items in. No, I've tried it and I put certain items in, went for a sale, and it fell off. Excuse me. So I wish you could have the facility just to tie things down. So I've seen one streamer have a campfire and put coconut pots on, but it code. To be honest, I don't think I've ever. All the times I've done this, I think it's only been raining once or twice when I've been in an open world, in the open ocean. Yeah, it's. Oh, there's a thought. You build a second. I tried that actually. I did build a second floor and put the wooden floor planks down, but it wouldn't let me put a campfire up there. Try so I can attach like coconuts and cooking pots to it. Unless I was doing something really stupidly wrong, it just would not let me put the campfire on the second floor. And I don't know why. No, slow. So I hope the stream's a lot better than the last time I streamed this. Going to another cluster. I hope I haven't made as many mistakes. The only really major mistake was, I zoomed out the map, didn't I? I couldn't see where the second cluster was. No, I absolutely adore this game. It's my favourite game. Yes, it's got its quirks, it's got its bugs, but there's loads of freaking seagulls. I wish you could have like a bow and arrow to try and shoot them. I know you've got one, but would it actually work? And I would love it to have a fishing rod with a line, so you could try and catch fish when you're sailing. Well, that's just my wish list. Yeah, I know the game's got bugs, but I absolutely adore this game. It's when I play with that survival stuff, I tend to die quite a lot. So it's the fishing rod. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? But what would you use as bait? That's the question. And if you caught a shark, wow, shit. Oh, that'd be so funny. I caught a shark. Why are you freaking shit? God, all these freaking seagulls. So yes, we're still going in the right direction, roughly. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a fish right. Seems this has been mine in the chat called Glenn Bixie, who also streams this. We've got on for the last, I don't know, 7 months or so. It'd be nice to have an anchor. Because I've had in the past where I've pulled up an island with my raft, jumped off the raft. By the time I scouted around the island, had a quick look and all that sort of stuff, the raft had drifted off. And I thought, if I had an anchor, just throw that on the beach, dig it into the sand, and that would stop the raft sailing away. Fishing so you could do something while you spend 1+ hours between goods. Yeah. Yeah, you could actually. Crabs with bait, yeah, you could. So, I would love that actually, just throw it onto the beach so it doesn't drag your ship off, your raft off. But then somebody says, well, you should build a dock in every island, or a dock so the boat doesn't float away. I thought, well, how do you attach the raft to the dock? That was your first question. The second question was, all right, so you're wanting us to build a dock on every single friggin' island? No. And the third question is, if you go to an island and there's nothing on it, there's no trees or very little trees or resources, there's a lot of rock. No, sorry, you should be building a raft. Well, I get words out with dock. But what I have started doing is I'll pull up to an island and jump off, drag the raft a little bit onto the beach so it doesn't float away. And then when I come to use the raft, instead of picking it up and spinning around QRT, I just jump on it and set the sails in reverse and it backs away from the island. I started doing that the other day. I thought, oh, that's clever. But anyway, no, you shouldn't have to build a frigging dock and everything. You've been there for frigging years. Especially if there's no resources. And then they say, well, if you attach something, transport the logs or the palm fronds or the banana leaves around with you, the logs, you can build a dock that way. No, frig off. I just want to get that island, get the resources of it, bump the next one, get the resources off that, hit every island, get enough resources, then go to the next cluster. See what's there. Because I've tried building a dock, and how far, let's do that point. So you build a dock, how far do you have to build the dock out? Because that's, when I was trying to build one, I couldn't get the raft floor level with the dock height. So you can get on and off the dock. Does that make sense? And especially if you've got like railings like I have on the raft. Yeah, it's not escaping, it's just living, exactly. So with me got these railings, the only way I get off the raft is like from the front or from the back. I kind of doesn't let you jump in. But anyway, there's been another rant over with. It's, if Radham's watching this, be going off, for God's sake, man. But it's. God, where's all these friggin' seagulls coming from? Notice the other question I posed. Still thinks I'm in well. Open map. I'm tired of that. It's quite tired. If you. Yeah, it would be way easier. Of course it would. You just throw it off the end of the raft onto the beach so it digs in, and away you go. I still think I'm in a world open water. Because I cannot scan because it's not. That was that question I posed. While you're sleeping, does the raft still move forward? Almost getting close to bloody. Right. Let me mark this again because there's the sun. So the raft doesn't move forward. Alright. Times it. 22. So this is taking a lot longer than it usually does to find the next cluster. What if I've sailed past it? But we'll try another mark because it's coming up to midday. Let's see what this mark brings us. So it is quite hard to use the sextant, especially in open water, when the sea's bobbing up and down. Right. Because I thought somebody told me they did. So that's a thing with their Discord. One person will say, oh, it's this, and another person will say it's that. That's why I really believe they need to get that wiki thing sorted with proper I'll do that. Escape. Shove that in there. Bring the fields down. Go forward. Forward a bit. Where's the sun? There it is. Get the map. Go to the Sextant. Be in the Hujamanjaris. So there's the sun there. There's the sun there. Come on, Billy boy. Is the sun gone? Oh, I lost the sun. Oh, it's going to be pretty cloudy now, hasn't it? Make it typical. Don't cross the edge, click it. See the mirage. Bring it down. There it is there. Scroll out, and now where's the bloody hell's it gone? Oh, it hasn't marked it. Oh, it has. Right. Get the sails up. You set me backside and fast time it. I only give out info concerning things I've experienced myself, even if other people tell me. I said I tested it myself. You keep doing it. Dashes will fit in. I know we're going in the right direction. It'd be nice to have that on the wiki page, like a screenshot of it, saying when you mark the Sextant in water, this is what it would look like. But no, they don't do that kind of thing. Dash circle, I marked it a few times and I filled it in into a complete circle. I thought it would be closer by now. But hey ho. Use this one. Oh, pretty God. But I've explained a few things, so it's actually why stuff I didn't know, which is a good thing. seems like I've been, when you look at the UI sailing bit, the bottom right, where it says direction, that has wound me up for months. Why can't they just simply move that? Like, remove the freaking full stop, because that's not right. Move the word direction to above where it says forward. How? That would literally be a 5-minute job. It's just attention to detail, ATP people. Attention to freaking detail. They're pandering to freaking arseholes. So the wind's coming from 3 o'clock. See, I'm scared to use the intermediate stuff. Yeah. You have 4-hour winds. This is about when I sunk. What, the stronger the wind made you sink? Wow. No, can't do. If it makes me sink, I'll be rage quitting. I know that. It's that would be a bad technical. It's yeah, you're probably right actually. That all the sales, wow. So I presume the less the arrows, we'll say you had 2 arrows, that'd be a good time to go to intermediate, or 1 arrow. You're still sunk. Oh dear. I've stopped playing a game called Atlas, and the way I can use when I'm steering that, it's a big ship. It's not a raft, it's a big ship. And this was coming from your 6 o'clock. You'd be moving. So if the arrows are pointing coming from my 6 o'clock, go to intermediate, then I'll really be shifted. Yeah. So when it's at 3 or 9 o'clock or 12 o'clock, stay with 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock or 12 o'clock, stay with starter. But once to go 6 o'clock, go to intermediate. That's probably the best way of doing it, I think. So anyway, this Atlas game I've been playing, when you're sailing one of the big ships, you can turn the big sails, and if the wind's not pointing in the right direction, you have to turn the sails so it gathers the wind, which I quite like. Alright, so it's best to keep an eye on the arrows, and once it goes to 6 o'clock, I'll switch to intermediate and I'll shift. But yeah, the coast that cannot be that far away, surely not. Let me just check. So he still thinks I'm in the first. Still thinks I'm in open water still. So can I be that far away? Surely not. That would have freaking did that right, wouldn't it? Oh. Oh man, you stop mucking about, you idiot. Hold on. Let me just get this map thing back up. Get some pretty, so I can see it better. So what you're saying is that circle at the top, the dotted line one, so if you look at the map, you are the point in the middle of the dashed egg. See, that's where I always thought that them dotted things, I always thought that was where the cluster is. So see, I always thought that was the cluster marker. So I'm basically practically off the map then, just about. Oh, that's just pretty not English, isn't it? It's not cricket. So this may take a while for me to find the islands. See, the reason why I thought them dotted lines was the second cluster, because in their bump or their documentation, when they were on about the fast sale, it says it would steer fast sail you towards the next cluster. Then after weeks and months of me badgering about that question, somebody turned around and said, no it doesn't, it just steers you in the direction you're travelling. I says, but that's not what the information's but you've put out. Well, excuse me. They said it steers you towards the next cluster. And now you're saying it doesn't. So which is it? I've got half an hour to find this freaking next island or I'm quitting. I don't usually stream this long. Well, thank you for clearing that up for me, Ryan Reaper. So them dot lines with the egg, sound like an egg shape. It's my position. Right. Let's see another. I think you have to head in the direction of that letter. I'd say the captain sound in the air. Whatever direction you get. But still in the direction, still found the crust. That's the other thing that winds me up. Because I always used to follow the birds. And I've always understood it, if at sunrise, if the birds, if you're in open water and you're at sunrise, the birds are flying away from you, if you're looking forward, that means they're leaving a cluster. If it's sunset, let me get this right, if it's sunset, that's right, if it's sunset and the birds are flying away from you, that means they're flying towards a cluster. And at sunset, if they're flying towards you, that means they're going back to a cluster. That's where I was thought with the birds, seagulls, the killer seagulls I should add. Um, but no, when I asked about this on the Discord, their answer was like, oh, just ignore the seagulls, you shouldn't really be following, you have to use your sextant and all this sort of stuff. So, which is it to be, chaps? You can't do one or the other. Anyway, you know what? And people, what makes me laugh the most is people whinge on about the seagulls. The seagulls shouldn't be killing you. Well, stop nicking the friggin' eggs and I try to explain to people, look, any parent is just protecting the egg or their young. So if you go to harm them or take it, obviously they're going to go for you. One thing will change as you approach the next cluster. When in the morning they head out from, and at night they head to. It flops about midway, right? So this is taking longer than I anticipated. Sorry. One thing I have noticed though, when I have gone to a new cluster, and when it hits that cluster area, it's only happened a couple of times though, the ship sinks. And then it rises back up and you're all fine. Textures in this game look great on your card. I've had this card nearly 3 years now. I was thinking about updating it, but it works fine for me at the minute, so I'm not going to update it. Because the 2060 Super I use, I think is quite good. So I don't see the point in changing it. If it's not broken, why fix it? Do I keep streaming until I hit the cluster or the island? Yeah, I know. I looked at the 4090s and my heart nearly stopped. Then I looked at the 3090s or 3060s, and you get them for about, what price were they? I think you get the 3060 Super, which I was looking at, for about 600 UK pounds. I didn't think it was that bad, but then I thought, well, my 2060 Super works fine, so why change it? But in 2 years' time, they'll bring like the 590 out, the 5090s, I should say, and somebody at my front door again, for big sake. The 4090s will be redundant, but so how long have I had this PC? Just about 3 years, well, just coming up to 3 years, and it's still working fine. So I give it another 2 years and then replace it. So I mean, a 3060 12 exactly. So that's actually quite a good price, that, for 3060. So that UK money would probably be about £380 UK pounds. But until I need to change it, I'll change it. My daughter's getting married this year, so I'm going across the island for her wedding. And my other daughter gets married next year. So I'll probably replace it after my second daughter gets married, probably. Yeah, she lives a place called Limerick in Southern Ireland. So that's where she's getting married. But I wish she was getting married where I live now, so yeah, Southern Ireland's still part of the EU, yeah. That's it's a daddy daughter thing. All daddy wants a daughter is to get married at home, sort of thing. It's seems a mother son thing. The mothers want their sons to get married with a local town or village or whatever. Just the way parents are, I think. Your mum's Irish. Wow. Southern Ireland or Northern Ireland. No idea where right is. That's Southern Ireland. Must know somewhere. See some things I'm in a freaking. That's as far as I can. As far as I can scroll out. Get rid of that. Ding, 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 ding. Right, I must go to the little boy's room. We'll be back in a sec. back. Hello, Blue Eyes. How are you, sir? I'm all good. I'm all good. Here's a question for you, Wild Blue, if you're still there. When you do the fast sale and you select the option until stopped, does that stop you when you've hit the next cluster? I want to give that a try. So what else could go wrong? Eat one of these. Let's give it a try, eh? Fast sale. So I know if you try and do the fast sale, if you're near a cluster, it says cluster's too close. So I'm presuming if you do a fast sale until stop, it will stop you when you're near a cluster. Let's give it a whirl, eh? Let's test it. This is what testing's all about, I suppose. It's not me. I might run out of resources and die, but hey ho. There we go. It stopped us. There you go. So if I do map, there we go. That's how you do it. I hope you got Wilson on board. Who's Wilson, Blue Eyes? Oh, you always make me laugh, you really do. So if I do this, do that, sit the arse down, and wait. I've always wondered that. So now it should be like a 15 minutes car journey-ish to if I do that, if I get the map up, and now I can scan it. So there's a little, yeah. Wow. So there's something to learn, eh? Oh, need to be travelling in that direction. Follow them seagulls, matey boy. Follow them seagulls. Is this even freaking turning? Didn't know that, didn't think there was an option, but Wilson is a soccer ball in US. Wilson, I thought they made tennis rackets. Blue Eyes. Oh, Blue Eyes are with some seagulls. Let's get around that direction. Turn, Rafty, turn. I don't think it likes you turning when you're doing a fast sale, you know. Fast time. Turn, 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 turn. Oh, so they make the soccer balls then? Well, that's what you call footballs, not soccer balls. Right, so we're going in the right direction. Yeah, they're called footballs. Proper name for them. Anyway, as I was saying, otherwise, I ordered some, well, get a set of Thrustmaster pedals for the flight sims, but I found they are very, this isn't probably the right word, but they're very slack. So they're sliding up and down, it's like the slightest twitch, and it's dead easy. So hopefully tomorrow I've ordered a set of springs for them, which apparently tighten it up. So I might do a flight tomorrow night. I'm missing the point yet somehow, I think. Oh dear. I was watching a clip on YouTube earlier, Blue Ice. I think it was either an F-15 or an F-18. It must have run out of fuel. So I had to land on a highway in the States. They sent out the fuel trucks and filled it up while it was on the highway. And once it was full of fuel again, it took off. But when he put when he's still on the road, and he put the afterburners on, it made this huge bang. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but Jesus, what a freaking noise that made. So there's the quick tip for tonight while Reaper. Instead of using the fast sail to do like fast sail to sunrise and sunset like I was doing, just make sure there's enough resources on board and just do it until it's stopped, because it will automatically stop you when you're in the new cluster. So your parents could be setting, you could adjust. I've played about the sensitivity settings on them for the rudders, the pedals anyway, and no matter, I've tried 3 or 4 different settings and the sensitivity part, and it was still a bit loose. So I'll try it with the springs. Let's see what happens. If you can get up with me before your stream, I can hop in and do a flight with you. I would have to turn multiplayer on, wouldn't it? But I don't usually use multiplayer that often. But I was looking at the cost to build a A320 flight deck for in the house. Price I got, the cheapest price I could find, was 41,000 UK pounds. So I would really love a proper flight deck cabin, but I don't think my house is big enough to handle it. Wow, the stream's taking forever. I know what to do next time. Just do it until stopped, because that'll take you basically right next to the next cluster. But must make sure I've got a shed load of bloody resources. Yeah, it was 41,000. So I probably about what, $44,000. It's just the idea of having one, and but then that question popped up in my head is how do I stream that, and I would need a camera attached to my headset on my head so I could look around and show people the switches. And but I've done some time in a flight simulator one, and which was interesting. So I know I've got track IR and VR that I can sometimes do it with, but it'd be nice just to have a built cockpit to build it. So I could have probably cut about 45 minutes off the stream by just doing the fast sail until stopped. Wow. I feel like reloading the game and testing that, but my stream's gone on long enough. It's, and I want to try and get in touch with Glenn Bixley as well. He hasn't been around, and I know Cyclone hit New Zealand yesterday. I just want to make sure the wee man's all right. Even making a Cessna 172 copy can cost up to $5,000 US. Wow. It'd be nice to have the wooded blue ice. It'd be freaking. Since I watched this guy on YouTube a few months back, and he had built, I don't know how much it cost him or how he built it, but a proper cabin for ATS with a gear he has now. Oh, just looked really, really good. But I'd have to win the national lottery to youth. Yeah, did you see it? Oh, it was unbelievable how he did that. Hats off to the guy. Be nice to have something like that in your house, wouldn't it? We must have to be really, really rich to do that. Well, which reminds me, I need to buy the season pass 2 for Farm Sim. Anyway. Wow, is he? I presume he's. What? Did he just say busy? Put it in half or something and. Wow, how's he managed that? Holy crap. Holy shit, how's he done that? Wow, that's impressive. That is very impressive. Come on, Islands, where are you? Right, get the map out. Have a scan of the horizon. Nope, can't see any islands. Yeah, DM us the vid. You can find the link. It's oh, I bet his wife was not impressed with that. He says, "Oh, I can imagine having that in your house." Holy crap, what a cracker. I bet his bloody wife wasn't impressed. So I'm gonna have to try this. I'm gonna do it in the morning when I get up. I've got some stuff to do first thing, but when I get back home, I'm gonna try the fast sale until it's stopped and see how long it takes us to get to that new cluster. Because if that's the intended way it's supposed to be used, they need to put that down on the wiki page. I'm trying to access the friggin' edit that thing. I'll make suggestions for it anyway. I can't see any friggin' islands. Yeah, I think we find that big blue ice, and it'd be nice to see. It'd be really nice to see. Oh, excuse me. Because when I was streaming this the other night, there's a chap called Wesley on. He says he could see the island before I could. I was thinking, well, but he couldn't see it. Map up. Nope. Still for a bit longer. Yeah. Come on, islands, where are you? Don't make me out to be an idiot. Oh, wow. Did you guys watch the Super Bowl? Because I bet you didn't. Where's these islands at? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ouch, 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 sorry. I can't see any bloody islands. There's one there. Right. If I do that, get the map up. There it is. So there we found an island, finally, folks. Look at that, straighten that up. Put the arse down. So an island's directly in front of us somewhere. Wow. So I'm going to try this again in the morning to then use that fast fit still until it's stopped. Oh, there's an island there, man. Go to that one since it looks closer. So there we go, folks. That's how you do it. My top tip of the day is I confirm it tomorrow, but is the best way to use this fast sale is have a ton of resources, and once you're in the open world, hit the fast sale until stopped, and that will carry on sailing in that direction until you hit a cluster of islands. That's the best way I can describe it. And right, if you've got access to the wiki page or you've got any influence with Radu or Peter, get them to explain it that way. It's yeah. So I started streaming at 8:15, 9:45, 10:45. So it's still really like 2 hours 15 minutes compared to 4 hours by using fast time. But no, I've learned quite a lot tonight thanks to Wild Reaper, especially on the map. Me thinking the dotted circle was where the cluster was, but it's not, it's where I am. Now I can understand things. So when I go sailing to try and find another cluster, I know them dotted circles is just me on the map. That's always wondered. I've always wondered that. But anyway, so there we go, folks. We're approaching this island. Sorry it's taking a bit longer than I was hoping, but just to prove it does work, and if any of the devs or whoever's watched the previous stream on this, I do apologise, because I did make some disparaging remarks about the game with a fast sale, but now I really understand it. It does work, trust me. It may take a while, it is a challenge, as Wild Reaper said, but it does work, and it will save you a hell of a lot of time still in between clusters. It really will. Is it a bad idea to mix red wine with white rum? So tomorrow night stream, if my spring turns up for the Thrustmaster pedals, and I can get a... Hi Wesley, you've missed all the fun. Through Wild Reaper's guidance, I've learned a few things tonight, and I tested one thing and it worked. So here's what I've learned. When you're in open world or the open ocean, yeah, I post everywhere the link. Anyway, when you're in the open world or the open ocean, I always get myself confused with the map. I thought the dotted circle lines was where the cluster is, but no. The dotted circle lines is where the raft is. That's the first thing I've learned. And second thing, this fast sales stuff. The best way to do it is to make sure that you have a ton of resources. and then use the fast sale option of until stopped, because I tested out and while they'll confirm it. I use until stopped option, and let's shut this down a sec. There we go. There we go, we're on land, yeah. So the best fast sale option you can do is the until stopped option, because that will stop you when it hits a new cluster. But you have to make sure you have an absolute ton of resources. Keep an eye on the bottom left of the screen, obviously, where it says your thirst and your hunger and all that sort of stuff. But that's the best tip I can give you guys, is to use the fast sale and select the until stop option, but make sure you have enough resources to get you through the journey. Why I'm taking that, because I'm not going to save it, because I want to test it again tomorrow morning. So anyway, thank you all for joining. Wild Rapier, thank you for your tips and guidance. I'm sure you're on pretty Skip Service Discord, because I'm going to do a post on it in a bit. If you can find that video blue light, just DM it to us. I'll put it on your Discord or Miss Wild's Discord. Thank you very much, Wesley, for popping by. Where's me? I've changed all these, haven't I? It's been a longer than usual stream, but it's been a productive stream. Productive is the word for. Okay. So anyway, guys, I'll try and get a flight done tomorrow night. If not, I might do this again, actually. Anyway, guys, thank you for turning up. I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, that hasn't freaking worked, has it? It knows that. Oh man, why can't it freaking...